ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you a story called Dong Hui Fang. In the area near the east gate of Qingzhou City lived a man named Ma Erhuan, who made a living by selling noodles. Ma Erhuan was poor and had no wife, living with his mother, and they both relied on the noodle business to get by. One day, while Ma Erhuan's mother was at home alone, a beautiful young woman, about 16 or 17 years old, entered through the door. She was dressed in a simple cloth skirt with her hair in a bun. Although she was dressed plainly, her looks were dazzling. Ma Erhuan's mother was astonished and asked the woman about her background. The woman smiled and said, "I wish to marry your son because I admire his sincerity and integrity." Ma Erhuan's mother was even more surprised and said, "My dear, you are as beautiful as an angel. If you marry my son, how could our family possibly deserve such a blessing? It would be like shortening our lives by several years." The woman insisted, but Ma Erhuan's mother suspected that she must have come from a wealthy family and was reluctant to accept her, so the woman eventually left. 3 days later, the woman returned and lingered around Ma Erhuan's home, unwilling to leave. Ma Erhuan's mother asked for her surname, but the woman replied, "If you are willing to take me in, I will tell you my name. Otherwise, there is no need to ask." Ma Erhuan's mother said, "We are of humble status and have the appearance of laborers. It would seem inappropriate and inauspicious for my son to have such a beautiful wife." The woman said nothing further but smiled as she sat on the edge of the bed, reluctant to leave and appearing very sincere. Ma Erhuan's mother continued to refuse, saying, "You should leave quickly, or I fear that it will bring disaster to our family." With no other choice, the woman finally left, and Ma Erhuan's mother watched her walk away to the west. A few days later, an elderly woman named Lu, who lived in the western alley, came to visit Ma's mother. She said, "There is a girl named Dong Hui Fang living next to me. She is now all alone, with no family to rely on, and she told me she is willing to be your son's wife. Why don't you take her in?" After hearing this, Ma's mother shared all her concerns with Madame Louis. After listening, Madame Louis said, "You're worrying too much. How could there be so many issues? If anything goes wrong between the young couple after marriage, the Ma family can blame me." Hearing this, Ma's mother was overjoyed and immediately agreed to the marriage. After Madame Louis left, Ma's mother began cleaning the house and preparing bedding, planning to visit Dong's house to propose marriage once her son returned. As evening approached, Hui Fang unexpectedly arrived again, gracefully entering the house. She bowed respectfully to Ma's mother, following all proper etiquette. Hui Fang said, "I also brought 2 maidservants with me, but I did not dare let them in without your permission." Ma's mother responded, "We live in this shabby little hut, and there is no need for maids or servants. We barely make enough to sustain ourselves each day, and with a new daughter-in-law, it's already hard enough to ensure we can eat." How could we possibly support 2 additional servants? Do you expect us to survive on air? Fang smiled and said, Although I have 2 maidservants, you won't need to cover their daily expenses. They can fully support themselves. Ma's mother asked, Where are these maids? Fang then called out, Chuyue, Chiu Sung, come in. Before Fang had even finished speaking, the 2 maids appeared in front of Ma's mother like birds descending from the sky. Fang immediately ordered them to bow down and pay respects to Ma's mother. Not long after, Ma Erhuan returned home, and his mother went to greet him, telling him she had found him a wife today. Overjoyed, Ma Erhuan could hardly contain his happiness. When Ma Erhuan pushed open the door, he was astonished to find that the interior of the house had been transformed into a palace-like setting, with intricate carvings and painted beams. The room's furniture, screens, curtains, and beddings were all dazzlingly splendid. Shocked by this sudden change, Ma Erhuan hesitated to enter. Fang came down from the bed, smiling and inviting him inside. Seeing Fang's celestial beauty, Ma Erhuan was even more startled and nervously retreated. Fang gently pulled him in, had him sit down, and spoke to him softly. Overjoyed and in a daze, Ma Erhuan wanted to get up to buy some wine. Fang stopped him, saying, There's no need for that. She then instructed the 2 maidservants to prepare wine and food for Ma Erhuan. Chuyue took out a leather pouch, went to the door, and soon a rattling sound came from behind the door. After a while, Chuyue's hand reached into the pouch and pulled out a jug of wine, a plate of meat, and several dishes of hot food. After they finished their meal, the couple went to bed, and the bedding was soft and luxurious. However, when morning came and Ma Erhuan and his mother went outside, they found the thatched cottage unchanged, which left them deeply puzzled. Ma's mother then went to Madame Louis's home to investigate further about Fang's background. She expressed her gratitude for Madame Louis's matchmaking. Madame Louis, however, was surprised and said, I haven't visited you in a long time. Moreover, I don't know any such girl, and no one asked me to act as a matchmaker for you. Ma's mother, even more doubtful now, recounted the entire story. Madame Louis was astonished and immediately accompanied Ma's mother to see the new bride. Fang welcomed them with a smile and continually thanked Madame Louis for her matchmaking. Seeing Fang's intelligence and beauty, Madame Louis was so astonished that she stood in stunned silence for a long time. She decided not to expose the deception, simply nodding in agreement. Fang then presented Madame Louis with a white wooden back scratcher, saying, I cannot repay your kindness, so please accept this back scratcher as a token of my gratitude. Madame Louis took it home and found that the back scratcher had magically turned into white gold. Since Ma Erhuan married Fang, he stopped selling noodles, and the Ma family's home was completely renewed. The wardrobe was filled with countless sable furs and luxurious garments, available for him to choose from. However, whenever he stepped outside, the furs and fine clothes would instantly transform into simple, plain clothes, though they remained light and warm. The same transformation applied to Fang's own clothing. Several years later, one day, Fang suddenly said to Ma Erhuan. I had been demoted to the human world for more than 10 years. Because of our fate, I stayed with the Ma family for a while. Now, it's time for me to say goodbye. Ma Erhuan tried desperately to keep her, but Fang said, please choose another good partner to carry on the family line. I will come to visit you again in a few years. With that, she suddenly disappeared. Soon after, Ma Erhuan married a new wife, Qin. 3 years later, on the Qixi festival, as the couple was sitting and chatting, Fang suddenly appeared, smiling at them, and said, the newlywed couple looks so happy. Have you forgotten your old acquaintance? Ma Erhuan, astonished, stood up and, with sadness, asked her to sit down and shared his feelings. Fang said, today, I happened to be sending the weaving maiden across the river, so I took the opportunity to visit you. They parted reluctantly and chatted endlessly. Suddenly, a voice from the sky called out, Fang. Fang hurriedly stood up to bid farewell. Ma Erhuan asked who was calling, and Fang replied, I came here with Sister Shuangqing just now. She has been waiting too long and is getting a bit impatient. Ma Erhuan escorted Fang to the door. Fang said, you will live to be 80 years old. When the time comes, I will come to collect your remains. After saying this, Fang disappeared once more. Now, Ma Erhuan is over 60 years old, still maintaining his simple and unassuming character, speaking little and showing no remarkable talents. At the end of the story, the author adds a commentary. Ma Erhuan's name is not elegant, and his profession is not noble. What did Fang see in him? It shows that immortals often value a person's simple, reserved character and sincere nature. I once told my friends, people like us, though we may seem decent in the eyes of humans, are not much in the eyes of foxes or ghosts. The only thing that can truly be worthy of the gods is to live a straightforward and honest life among humans. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tale, Dong Fang. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.